Yo, my people, what is crackling? So just another day here at Terminal 4, taking my morning walk while I'm waiting for this flight that's gotten rescheduled, I think 5 or 6 different times to come through. This is Terminal 4 JFK, where I've spent a lot of time, as I typically fly with Delta as my home airport, Ithaca, New York. There's really only one airline that's been consistent through the years. We've had American Airlines in the past, flew down to Charlotte and also to Philadelphia, which was nice. And then United kind of sort of came and went. They were flying for a while down to Washington Dulles and also Newark, which currently they are again. But for the longest time, it was basically Delta, either Detroit or JFK. And Delta was the kind of most consistent airline throughout that whole period of time, the last 5 or 6 years. When they dropped Detroit, it was a little bit of a bummer, because then a lot of the time I'm traveling to the west, to Alaska and to Baja and places like that. And so it was kind of like going east from Ithaca to JFK and then eventually to, back west. It's kind of like backtracking in a way. But I figured I'd just kind of take you with me on my walk through JFK this morning and just kind of ramble along here. I guess this is what you call a vlog. I'm pretty new to this game. But those of you who are just joining us here, my name is Dave Katz. I'm from upstate New York. I've been working in the adventure tourism business for about 20 years. I'm also a very serious photographer and semi-serious filmmaker. Like I said, I've never really done anything like this before, but I'm starting out this YouTube channel with the idea of just kind of sharing some of my experiences out there in the world. And so far I've been pretty excited about the YouTube community, so looking forward to kind of joining that and sharing some of my experiences and perspectives out there. So anyhow, this brings me to my rant about JFK Terminal 4. So I have been coming here pretty consistently, let's say probably 10 to 15 times a year over the last 4 or 5 years. Perhaps more. I'd actually have to count it all out. But I've walked pretty much the entire terminal back and forth, I don't know, 100 times. And the funny thing I wanted to talk about today, and I don't typically talk about like food and nutrition on my social media, but there are basically no good restaurants in this entire terminal. And when I got here yesterday, I was here for about 14 hours. That's the other thing, is I oftentimes spend a lot of time here because of how the flights get delayed. It's somewhat of a common thing. So anyhow, I've basically cased all of the joints here, and I noticed that they had just recently closed one of the sort of food court areas, which didn't have any good restaurants in it, so maybe they'll put some in that are better. And I should mention, I'm not like a picky eater. I'm not like a vegetarian or a vegan or gluten-free or lactose-free or whatever. I just pretty much eat anything. And so I've tried pretty much all the restaurants here, and none of them are very good. They're all very expensive. That's the other thing to consider. But I've gotten to, in the past, when I'm leaving for an assignment, like leaving home, just make a sandwich and bring it here and just skip it. Even though typically if I'm traveling on business, I've got some kind of expense account that'll cover the expense of a $30 bagel or whatever. But it just seems kind of ridiculous, particularly if I'm not even going to enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not a particularly picky eater. It's just, they're not good. Like, I don't know how else to explain it other than that. But I did notice, hang on, I'm gonna have to switch my hands here. I did notice that there's a couple of new restaurants going in, and so to be determined if those are gonna be any good. One of them's a Mexican place, which I particularly like Mexican food, and the other one is a like a salad place called Chopped, which I think I've actually been to once. It was pretty good as well. So anyways, that's kind of the rant for today. I guess you could call it a vlog. And yeah, I'll upload these things and see if they're useful, if there's any kind of traction. If so, I'll continue kind of doing them. Yeah, all right. Yo!